Brilliant, and that is a tune that we played on this programme many a time. That is Quatermass 3 live in session with Room at the top. OK, so cards on the table then. What is going down in the world of Quatermass 3 at the this platform of Six Music to be able to tell everybody the important things in your life, not your personal life, obviously. So what's going on?
Well, we got a massive tour of 2 dates.
Wow, world tour.
Well, world tour of 3 dates, which started on last Friday, and then we've got next Friday we're playing in Manchester at Gulliver's, which should be good with Nico Birtwistle, who is the daughter of Stella of Interstellar, and Spencer.
Of course, previous of The Fall.
Previous of The Fall and Interstellar, and so, Will the Twist... not stable mates, but just pals.
Yeah, from the same DNA pool, most definitely.
Exactly. So we got Nico on. She's supporting us, and it should be a good night. Hopefully.
And what's the other gig?
And the other gig is on Newcastle on Saturday the 17th, yeah.
Right,
okay. The Lubber Fiend, and we're supported by Quarterlight. So you got Quatermass 3 and Quarterlight.
Wow, okay.
A lot of cues.
And I love a man in uniform, obviously, and you've made the effort tonight, which I always like to see. So there is definitely a sci-fi. I mean, the name lends itself originally anyway, Quatermass, obviously, but there's definitely a kind of sci-fi and space thing going on here. So what triggered that off? Whose inspiration was that?
I'm going to hand you over to Neil Williams, our vocalist.
Right, go on, Neil.
Okay, so Quatermass kind of we were desperate to call ourselves Quatermass at one point, but there was a prog band called Quatermass, so we thought we'll call ourselves Quatermass 2, but they broke up and reformed as Quatermass 2, so inevitably we became Quatermass 3, and I think it just summed up the ethos of our band. We can reflect that kind of 70s analog, 50s, 60s, 70s analog sort of sci-fi feel, with a little bit of a glam beat on top of that, I think, and a little bit of psychedelia mixed in.
Yeah, I mean, I've written down here, obviously the glam stomp is in there's no doubt about it. A little bit of prog as well, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. But also, I was going to say glam meets Delia Derbyshire, but then, do you know what struck me while you were playing? A little bit of Chicory Tip as well. And
oh, God, yeah.
I mean, Giorgio Moroder.
Please.
So they were the band, again, they didn't take themselves too seriously. And the singer used to wear that crab on his head, didn't he? Which doesn't sound like the immediate...
Yeah, he didn't wear it on his head when they did Son of My Father on the top of the... I think somebody sort of gave them an image after the event.
Right.
So, was it Paul Hewson? No, that's Bono, isn't it?
Oh, is it? I don't know.
What's Bono's real name?
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Well, he shares it with the singer from Chicory Tip. Anyway, the surname.
Right. When he says he shares it, can only one of them use it on any given day?
Yeah, Bono gets it mostly.
I'm sure he does.
He's wearing the
crap. Can imagine.
But the funny thing is, Chicory Tip were always, I mean, that's from my era, so it was like 1973, 74 or whatever. But they were never really taken that seriously. It kind of, well, not by me and my peers anyway, but it was only years later when people recognised, I mean, you listened to Sparks earlier on, obviously they did the Giorgio Moroder thing, but with Chicory Tip, they waded in right early on, didn't they?
Yeah, but what you can't remember about Son of My Father it's like the most popular football chant in the country is based on Son of My Father.
Right, okay, yeah. I mean,
you're going to sing it for us.
No, I'm not. And but the I mean, obviously they disappeared after a while, and so Giorgio Moroder made his way in the world and obviously made a massive impression. So you've got a little bit of prog in there as well. We were talking about this before, Gordon. So there was at one point in time where there was supposed to be a band being formed with myself, Mark Radcliffe, you, and Nick, bless him, Nick Sanderson, called Willow Farm, which was a Genesis tribute band, but we never made it, did we?
Someone who's going to be Margaret Rutherford. That's right.
That probably would have been me.
Margaret Rutherford and Walter Gabriel.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. You've got to be of a certain age to recognise where we're coming from with that as well.
Good pub idea.
So, it was a pub idea, thankfully it stayed there. But so when people go to see Quatermass 3 live in session, what can they expect? Because I've seen clips of you on YouTube, and it's a spectacular event.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite visual. I mean, not as visual as we'd like it to be. And it's a great shame because since I was performing sort of with Earl Brutus sort of 10, 15 years ago, we could use loads of smoke bombs and things like that. And you can't use those in small clubs anymore. So it's a shame, or else it would be a big pyrotechnic extravaganza. But we sort of try and make up for it.
I'm sure you do. I mean, it does strike me that you never learn, because I was at the show where, was it the Astoria in London, where World of Twist had the volcano, the smoking volcano, the legendary ill-fated volcano.
Yeah, they never made it in the building.
Never made it in the building. You mean, that is a schoolboy error, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just thought I'd bring that up. Okay, so, all right, then I just want to ask, I mean, I won't spin around the room because everybody else might hate prog, but Gordon, you've written When Does a Mind Bending Start? A great book about World of Twist. You're about to write a book about prog rock as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm sort of caught away through it. But I've been caught away through it for the last 20 years, so...
right, okay.
It's kind of getting there very slowly.
Right, all right. Yeah. So, and on the Quatermass 3 front for records, what have you got looming large?
Well, we've got a record coming out on... Is it Optic?
Yeah, we've just signed a record deal last week with Optic Nerve Records.
Right, okay.
We normally do reissues, but Ian, the record label owner, just wants to do something original with us, so... That's hopefully coming out towards the end of the year or early next year, but we'll have some singles around the end of the year as well.
Right, okay, excellent stuff. All right then. So, well, back to Quatermass 3 live in session. You're going to do 2 tunes for us back to back now. What are the tunes called?
Good question.
We've got Tulpa Lover, followed by Lucky 7.
I'm glad somebody knows. Right, okay, get to it. Thank you.